Hello everybody. Friday morning, the weekend is almost upon us. I'm still down here at Whale Rock Estate, at the home of very dear friends Rick and Pam van Pitten, who I might say watched this also from their home up in Pretoria. Thank you, Rick, and thank you, Pam, for allowing us to use your wonderful home. On one occasion, a man who was an expert in the law, we are told, came up to Jesus and said, what must I do to inherit eternal life? And Jesus asks him, well, what do you read in the law? And the man said, well, what I read is twofold. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. And Jesus said, yep, you're right. Do this and you will live. Now, the guy then goes on to ask that famous question, who is my neighbor? And Jesus responds by telling him the story of the Good Samaritan, one of the great parables in the Gospel of Luke chapter 10. He says this guy is on his way from Jerusalem down to Jericho, and he is set upon by a band of robbers who strip him and leave him half dead on the side of the road. And down that road comes a priest, and he looks and he passes by on the other side. And then a Levite also comes down the street. He has a look and conveniently passes down on the other side. And you can imagine people are shaking their heads saying, oh, you know, what have our religious leaders come to if that is their reaction to human need? And then Jesus turns it on with a real shock. And he says, the next guy coming down the road was a Samaritan. And you can almost hear people stepping back in horror. Now, this man is really going to finish the fellow who's lying on the side of the road off once and for all. But no, says Jesus, that Samaritan gets off his donkey and he goes over to the man and he has compassion and he binds up his wounds. He pours oil and wine over the wounds and he puts the guy on the donkey and he goes down to an inn some way away and says to the innkeeper, listen, look after this guy, here's some money to tide you over, and when I go back to Jerusalem, I'll come and pay the bill, whatever is owing. Now you can imagine the reaction to people. They say, no, you know, that is just not possible. And Jesus then says, now who do you suppose was neighbor to the man who was on the side of the road there? And the expert in the law says, the man who showed him mercy and compassion. Now, yesterday we were talking about 1 Corinthians 13, about love is patient and love is kind. And if ever there was a supreme act of kindness on the part of a man towards another guy who kind of wasn't part of his group, it was the action of that Samaritan. Now, for me, the irony of the story is that the man who asked the question knew the answer. He knew it perfectly well. And when the conclusion of the story comes and Jesus says, now, who was neighbor? The man is not even able to say the Samaritan who helped him. No, it's that man who helped the chap in need. Which says to me, we can have all the knowledge, we can have all the correctness of belief and theology, you name it. We can do things perfectly. But what really matters is the actual practice. Are we walking the talk? Now, you know, we can say, well, you know, it's inconvenient or whatever excuse we may come up with. The real test is, are we putting our money where our mouth is? Are we truly, truly people of patience and kindness, of love? Or do we simply pay lip service, allowing some deeper reality that the sort of social biases and prejudice, the sort of dismissive attitudes that we so often adapt to take precedence over the very specific challenge of Jesus? So there we have it. It's a challenge to love. And remember that little song from The Sound of Music that I cited yesterday. A song is no song till you sing it. And a bell is no bell till you ring it. And love in your heart wasn't put there to stay. Love isn't love till you give it away. And that's the fruit of the Spirit. And that's the only believable, credible thing that we have to offer this world, a world that has grown very cynical about the way we Christians so often behave. Come on, let's raise our game, as I said yesterday, and let's truly reflect something of the life and love and mercy and compassion of Jesus. Great to have been with you this week. God bless you.